and welcome to Let's Talk About, a series spotlighting leaders, authors, artists, marketers, creators, and entrepreneurs sharing tips and tricks and advice on business, media, technology, and frankly, life itself. I'm your host, Cynthia Nelson, three-time entrepreneur, Forbes contributor, investor, and advisor. Today, we're talking to none other than Neil Twa from Voltage. Neil, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I want you have a really interesting background, so I'd love for the audience to get to know you a bit better and how you got to where you're at, and then we'll talk about the book and some other fun tips and tricks.
Yeah, short story. I'll try to keep it like 45 seconds or less here. Grew up in the tech space because it was coming online. At 16, 17, the boards and AOL boards were big. And then by the time I got into college, the internet was online and becoming
Yeah,
a big mainstay of what commerce could look like. But it wasn't in
yeah,
academia.
yeah,
There was no way to go learn how to do it. Otherwise, I just playing with computers and learning how to do it. So
yeah.
I jumped out and ended up in a startup company called Sprint PCS, which was the first personal communication services of the mobile phone industry, and got in on the
Yep.
early wave of mobile phones.
Very cool.
And that led me through about 5 years of growth within that industry, which was huge. Learned a lot about it from the inside out on the knowledge management and technology side, supporting the systems and engines of information that allowed that
Yep.
kind of growth to occur. IBM saw what was happening and came in. Sprint hired them. I spent about a year working between project teams, and the lead at IBM said, "Hey, there's a deal we're doing over here. We'd like to take some of that knowledge and build a practice, a knowledge management practice inside of IBM. Would you come help us start that practice?" So I went to IBM and did that. Spent almost 5 years in IBM until 2007, working in that space of latent semantic search engines, human machine
Yep.
language learning, artificial intelligence. Spent a lot of time at the Armonk Labs there in New York,
Hmm.
working on the big Deep Blue at Watson and other things around the business and information of technology and mobile. But I had a great knowledge and expertise. Got into that in the management side, built my own practice up. Eventually got into more digital marketing and advertising of online and lead generation to support that, and then found I had a really great aptitude for building brands. Started with building other people's brands, and then started building my own brands in 2012. Got my first seven-figure brand around 2015, 14, somewhere in that line. And really got hooked on the Amazon channel because of its mass marketing appeal and how fast it was going, and started incubating more and more brands. On Amazon, we've done 8 figures in sales more in a year. We've got more than 100 million in sales in the 12 years we've been on Amazon, and have helped a lot of clients and coaches and businesses grow and aspire and build growth and scale. And now we're on the other side, which is business investment and acquisition. So as we grow and build, we acquire and we exit, and we are doing both of those right now.
That's awesome. Wow, what a great background. And you have a book out, an
I do.
amazing book out. Tell us about the book.
Well, the book is a culmination of things from my podcast, the High Voltage Business Builders podcast, where I interviewed individuals in different walks of business and shapes and sizes. But intentionally, those conversations led around the e-commerce world, the business, the finance,
Mhm.
the creation and building of wealth, and the saving and preserving of it. And so that ended up in the book as 15 chapters with 15 different experts, supporting case studies, our processes, and what we do in Voltage, but also in the verticals of expertise that aligned up in that conversation. And really, it ties to the 5 main topics about e-commerce that have to do with the building, the finding, the growing, the managing, and the marketing, as well as the sale and exit of the companies. And so that revolved around that part of the book. I had the blessing of a friend, Kevin Harrington, writing the front end for me.
I saw
He's
that.
one of the
Very
original Shark
nice.
Tanks. Yeah, very cool
Yep.
guy. And he wrote the forward for me. And we sort of call it the as seen on TV strategy, because over the
Hmm.
years we developed my first product brand line came off a television commercial, and eventually became friends with him and learned about that industry and everything
Oh,
that's going on
yeah.
there. And that helped with our product development process.
Really awesome. I know everybody's gonna want to get a hold of you, so we'll make sure you get a plug in. How do they reach you?
Grab the book on Amazon.com. Of course, it's over there. Almost Automated Income with FBA. Go to the website, voltagedm.com. Voltage DM is digital marketing. And learn the omni-channel aspect of Amazon and Shopify and TikTok shops and a holistic e-commerce company. There's a presentation over there and it explains how to get started or how to grow and scale.
So, what would be, some of the best tips and tricks you've learned
Yeah.
in building building a new brand, for
Yeah.
somebody who's just
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
started building a new brand, like what would you say are things that, the have to haves or things you've learned that you're like, oh, I'm never going to do that again?
Don't marry your products. As an inventor who spent way too much time building a product to
Yep.
market that's so amazing, even
Yep.
has a patent on it and
And you
never saw the light of
love it.
day,
And that, yeah, never sees the light of day. I've seen
got
that.
killed and all
Yeah.
that, never made it out. Innovation is 99% of the opportunity. 1% maybe Elon or come up with some invention that hits the world or hits the Shark Tank or whatever. But
Right.
99% of us are really good at figuring out how to innovate products.
Yep.
Innovate opportunity, innovate demand, get in front of it and build it. So don't marry your products. There's plenty of others to borrow and innovate in the marketplace. And if you're trying to invent, you're taking way too long to get to market. And the phrase I
Yep.
constantly remind people is sales fixes everything.
Yeah.
So first figure out what to sell and how to sell it to somebody. And that leads to what the heck do I sell? Which is like, what
Right.
do I, does it sell
Right.
digital? Do I sell a physical? Do I sell a brand? Do I sell myself? Do I sell insurance? Like, what do I sell? In my world, it's making sure you sell a product that meets a demand or a customer need that is at the viability of what the market is willing to pay for that product. So you
Yeah.
might want to sell one product at $49 or $39. It might even end up at Walmart, and I might want to sell one that's like 89 to 189 because I want to hit that tier
Right.
2 buyer, or even up to 489, hitting that tier 2, tier 3 buyer. Because I know, and common sense will tell me, if I sell a higher end product, I'm going to have more profitability.
Right.
Now, it isn't just selling a cheap Chinese piece of crap to get that profitability. I've seen some
Right.
of that happen. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
they
Lots of
source it
that.
for 20 and sell it for 600, and like I can't do
Yeah.
that. That's not ethical.
Yeah.
But I could sell a product that has good value that meets the demand while paying a good price and obviously getting a great product in the market. But at the end of the day, when you go by the numbers correctly, the second component of this, when you really understand the marketing and business and fundamentals of profitability and growing a business and the profits of a business, not just being the financial, but the reward, the fiscal, the faith, the
Yeah.
family, the
Yeah.
friends, the other things that build into the freedom of a business,
Yeah.
then you understand the profitability powers the whole thing, and you can't do it by gut feel. And so many people
Yeah.
run a business by gut feel, right? Too
I
much
love
gut, not enough
I
numbers.
love that one. I've seen that one so many
Oh,
times.
I see it all the time.
Oh my
Emotionally
God. I
connected,
feel
devotion to the
like
brand, too
I
much.
feel like they should buy it because I feel like I'm moving out
I
of the
think
sun
they
here.
might, or I believe they're going to like this or whatever. And it's really at the end of the day, it's their passion that drives my need. It's their solution that drives my doing. So what I'm after not is the
Exactly.
product per
Exactly.
se as a
Right.
transactional. I want to create a
Right.
great product, of
Yeah.
course, because I want
Yeah.
to close that, loophole, get that positive review, have that great feedback, have them buy more product. But if I can sell the product, I don't know who I'm selling to. I don't understand the conditional aspects of why they're buying it. I can't answer three major questions they're asking about the product type. Then I can't sell them the product in 30 seconds or less. So it gets down to profitability of marketing, profitability of the brand growing, profitability of the overall
Yep.
product, building a
All the
brand.
pieces, the
Yeah,
puzzle.
and
Yep.
the brand becomes a profitable
Right.
business.
Right.
So I don't marry the products in that process because I'm looking for a profitable in-demand trending product. And basically in today's world, it gets down to the data. People sell
Yeah.
e-commerce products because they believe in the product. I sell e-commerce products because the people believe in the product, and I'm a data broker.
Yeah.
So I broker the data of business, narrative, copy, and graphics and information that builds a customer drive to the product. The product fulfills the transactional relationship. They're
Yep.
super happy. And I
Yep.
go do that 100 times because now I've learned to sell anything to all people in a box.
Yeah.
And when you have that skill set, then the world is your oyster. There's so many products and brands. I don't have enough time in my life to do them all because there is so many of them. And I know people have that question constantly, like, what the
Yeah.
heck do I sell? But it's
Constantly.
literally
Yeah.
a conditional aspect of going through the numbers, learning the data, executing in the data, getting the experience about this one versus that one versus this one versus that product, and then selling them more of what they want and driving price and profitability up so you can reach more people, and then having enough traffic and system and engine to actually do it, which in Amazon is 8,600 units a minute.
Yeah.
8,600 units a minute. And then you go out to the other parts of the web into
Yeah.
direct marketing and TikTok shops and stuff like that. And there's all
Yeah.
this other
Live shopping.
millions
Yep.
of people and tens of thousands of units moving every second. It's hard for people to really grasp the scale of how large this actually is.
It's a huge market.
It's huge.
Neil, we all need to go out and buy your book, it sounds like, because you've just rattled off so much amazing information so quickly. I know people want to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate
My
your
pleasure.
time and
Thank you for having me
expertise.
on. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.